talk to us a little about how Taoism plays into tea.
Sure. As most of you guys know, traditional Chinese medicine has its roots maybe 5,000 years ago, and it was deeply rooted in Taoist philosophy and culture. I believe that they were the first ones to investigate consciousness, whereas our physicists here investigate, like atomic structure, things that are unseen. They looked at consciousness, and yes, consciousness is unseen, but they applied their discoveries and discovered something fascinating, which is a fractalated holographic reality that pervades everything. That our reality is recursive. So what do I mean by recursivity? So, for example, if you look at a distant star or a cluster or a galaxy, a distant galaxy, and then you zoom in on the neurons of a mammal, they interestingly look similar. And if you look at mycelium, right, the mycelial cultures of mushrooms, the networks that are formed, just like the neural networks of the computer systems that we have today, of the internet, they look interesting the same. So these are principles that that pervade, right? Organizing principles. So to make a long story short, once applied to the human body, in terms of drinking tea and the foods we eat, let's say, for example, the color yellow. The color yellow in Chinese medicine goes on to fortify digestion and the mind. So, for example, ginseng is yellow, and the yellow color tells us that it strengthens digestion and it strengthens mind. That is exactly what ginseng does for our bodies. So now you look at something vibrant like turmeric. Turmeric really helps with,
as well.
You got it, helps with digestion,
Yeah.
helps with the muscles. In Chinese medicine, the spleen also governs over the muscles. So inflammation, connective tissue, ashwagandha is yellow, astragalus is yellow. So all these benefit the brain and also tonify the digestive center. So now examples of this are replete. So in the Taoist worldview, which is enshrined and encapsulated within the practice of traditional Chinese medicine, they transpose this over the body. So when you're drinking tea, you'll find that it'll activate different parts of the palate. So for example, the bitter flavors will activate this flushing response. So the bitter flavor comes from the tannic acids, right? So I'm going to just explain briefly. The tannic acids are there in order to thwart pests, right? As an anti-pesticide, which is something that is noxious to the pests that they're trying to thwart, but is medicine to us. So we have developed this symbiotic relationship with our environment at all times. So I think that we're in an amazing time where we can rediscover the properties of traditional Chinese medicine, Taoism, and our health, which is quite fascinating. So, and what's most often overlooked in tea culture, in my experience, is that the descriptors are primarily describing more of the mouth, what the flavors are, right? But I would recommend anyone who is an avid drinker of tea or even a novice of tea to experience tea as a meditation, as a way. So there's a concept of cha do or cha as a way, a philosophical way for inner solitude and inner peace. So when you drink tea, you may experience some activation or lingering finish around different aspects of the tongue. And in Chinese medicine, the different aspects of the tongue, like for example the sides of the tongue right now, feel activated or slightly astringent. So that's part of the liver gallbladder. So so this is insight into what this tea is doing to our bodies right now at this organic organ system level. So
I feel it in the middle of my tongue, actually.
Okay, so for you, it's activating the spleen, the digestive system.
I think in Taoist medicine and traditional Ayurvedic medicines that are very old compared to modern science, they've mapped out exactly what each part of the body is connected to, because we are, a huge connection, and what everything does to that connection. So, as you said, I feel it in the middle of my tongue when it's a pu'er, particularly this morning. So maybe my spleen's all backwards.
So would you? So would it be safe to say that do you get some gas and bloating, or tend to over worry or think? I don't have to be right at all. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
actually, on both of those I do. And when I drink tea, I'm very concerned about what it's going to do intestinally in here, because for me, I have intestinal issues. So it's always picking something that's not going to erupt in here. And I think tea has a very calming effect on my body in general.
So the sweeter flavor. So now here's where tea brewing methods would come into play for you. So let's say, for example, a raw green, if brewed improperly at higher temperatures or using too much tea, will definitely allow for the tannic acids to occur and to be expressed, so it's going to be more of bitter. So if you're looking to fortify digestion, I would definitely count down at least 7 to 12 seconds after boiling to introduce the hot water onto the green leaf, because it's such a raw product.
Otherwise you'll burn it or boil it.
That's correct. And so the thing is, for some people, what most people don't understand about green tea, myself included initially, was that some people get sick off of green tea. Why? There's a concept of tea tipsiness. So it's a detoxicant. It's a raw product, and it's very bitter if brewed improperly or drunk in excess. So people, I've heard, have vomited, while drinking raw green. Why? Because it's detoxifying. I had the same experience after coming back from Taiwan, drinking pu'er, that here the channels, which is gallbladder, was activated. So the more I drank, the more it worked itself out, and I no longer have that experience. So people will think that they're allergic to green tea, but in actuality it's trying to flush them out.
So besides the social experience of drinking anything, tea, wine, whatever it is, because every culture has that drinking social experience, and today we're talking about tea, but it also has some amazing health properties that are very complicated and go back a long way.
And in this case, to add on to what you've just described, pu'er is a very spiritual imbuing tea.
I think of pu'er as a big pile of compost.
Yes.
Which is kind of what it is.
That sounds appetizing. I'm drinking it.
And it's constantly under this, it's breaking. Pu'er breaks itself down over time, and although you can store pu'er for years, 50 years, there's organically something going on there, very similar to composting, and that's why pu'ers in particular. There's really an acquired taste to a pu'er, and there's a range of flavors within pu'er, and to me it could be very soil and very dirty and almost earth tasting, which I really like.
Yeah, so people should get their Tao on and come on down here and see what it's going to take to awaken their energies.
Yeah, please come in and try pu'er or green tea or oolong or any herb from Mother Nature.
Yeah, just come on down and sit and have some tea, and Mo will introduce you to.
It is a tea bar.
Whatever. It's a tea bar. You should,
So
people
you can kind of hang out here.
Hang out, bring your book. I think it's pretty relaxing and
its
quiet.
own way, it's a quiet, enjoyable experience.
If you're seeking to declutter from the stress of the world, tea is a friend and an ally that can help quiet and bring ourselves back to balance. We have something for everyone. We have fun drinks like matcha lattes. We make fermented drinks like kombucha organically here. And so please come in.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Mo.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks.